everyone! In this video, I'll be showing you 5 lists that you can write that can help you be a happier person. Quite a few people were interested in the lists I showed in my 2019 bullet journal flip through and wanted to know more about them. So I've broken them down into 2 categories: lists that have made me happier, which I'll talk about today, and lists that have helped me be more productive, which will be the next video in the series. The foundation of these lists is based on Stoicism, which is a branch of philosophy that's designed to make us better people, more resilient, virtuous, wise and happy. So you'll hear me refer to Stoicism quite a bit, and I'll share quotes from Stoic philosophers. The first spread is linked to a principle in Stoicism called the dichotomy of control. This is the idea that happiness and freedom begin when we start to understand that some things are within our control and some things are not. So for this list, first sit down and think about things that are not in your control right now. Think about your day-to-day life, the different emotions you might experience in a day, the different thoughts you might have and sometimes dwell on. Some of those may link to things that aren't in your control. I did this list when the UK went into lockdown back in March, which was a great time to do something like this because so much that was happening was out of my control, like how long lockdown would last and whether other people were following the social distancing rules. The restrictions here in the UK are tightening up again, so the first point on my cannot control list is the changing COVID restrictions. Some other things that I thought of are that I can't control what other people think of me, of my choices or my parenting style, or things that others say or do. How much the kids take on board what I say or what I try to teach. I also can't control how many views my videos get or how many subscribers I have. All I can try and do is share good content, and then it's kind of out of my hands. So this list is the list of things to let go of. We don't need to spare a thought or feeling worrying about these things. Next, you think about the things that you can control. And this is a list of things that you want to focus on, the things that you can control in your life. This is what we should be spending our time and energy on. I have things like my own positive attitude, being present, particularly when I'm with my family, doing fun things at home despite the rules and restrictions we have outside of our homes. I can control the narrative I tell myself when I feel unsettled, which will directly impact how I feel about things. I can choose to use kind language and tones at home and to guide the kids instead of nag. I can produce high-quality content to share here on YouTube, even if I can't control what happens after I put it out there. The next list is an opportunities list, based on a quote by Epictetus. It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. We usually think that negative events cause our negative feelings, but really it's the stories we tell ourselves about the event that cause our negative feelings. In Stoicism, the belief is that once you realise that you can choose how you respond to things, you can change how you feel about things. You might have an immediate response to something, like feeling angry or upset when something happens, but after that you have the opportunity to choose what story to tell yourself. Logic and reason can be applied to stop ourselves from telling a negative story to ourselves about the situation or about another person. For example, if you feel angry at someone for behaving in a particular way, you'll feel an immediate flash of anger, but after this, how much anger you continue to feel is based on the story you tell yourself. If you tell yourself that you're really angry with this person, you can't believe they behave this way, and you expect decent human beings to behave better, you will carry these negative feelings with you all the time and cause a significant amount of unhappiness to yourself and people around you. The more we can practice accepting things as they are and the stories that we tell ourselves, the happier we can be. So this opportunities list is a helpful way of changing the narrative in any situation. Divide the page into 2 columns. In the column on the left, you write a list of things you can't do right now. And in the column on the right, you put down all of the things you can do. Since it's half term this week and the kids are at home, I'm going to base my list on the things I can and can't do this week. I was very aware as we approached this holiday period that I wouldn't have time to create as many videos as I usually do or work on my projects. But this list helped me change the story and made me think about the things that I can do instead. And I felt much happier after writing it. On the left, I've identified that I can't create as much content or work on my projects. We also can't go on holiday, which we were planning to do before COVID, and we can't visit much of our family because of the new restrictions. So the kids can't do things with their cousins, which they usually like doing in the holidays. But what I can do is take a mental break from my work to recharge, redecorate my studio because my son's been dying to use the wallpaper stripper and paint some walls. We can bake delicious treats, read lots of books, watch films, go on nice autumn walks, do some yoga in the morning since we don't have to do the school run, and have video chats with family. Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." We build things up in our heads, suffering in our imagination, which makes us anxious and stops us from doing things that are challenging and often the most rewarding. I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel a while before I started one, but instead of just doing it, I would make myself suffer in my imagination, thinking things like, I don't know what I'm doing. What if people hate my videos and leave really mean comments and make me feel bad? But when I actually started doing it, it was so worthwhile pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and it has given me so much joy. And this is why the idea of voluntary discomfort is often encouraged. The idea that we should do things that are difficult and go out of our comfort zones, and in the end we have the opportunity to be much happier people. So this spread is dedicated to helping yourself push through situations using the cookie jar method, invented by David Goggins. David Goggins is a former Navy SEAL and ultramarathon runner. He had quite a traumatic childhood and wrote an inspirational book about how to overcome adversity by pushing yourself through challenging situations and unlocking your full potential. The idea is to create a virtual cookie jar that holds all of your victories. You pull out a cookie, which is one of the victories, to remember how tough you really are. Let it fuel you when you need it the most. Think about anything that has felt like a victory or triumph to you in your life, and situations where you've overcome obstacles, physical, mental, or emotional. I've split mine into physical challenges that I've overcome, or that I'm proud of, ranging from mountains that I've climbed, intense workout programs that I pushed through, and giving birth at home with only natural aids, breathing through every painful contraction. I then have a list of mental accomplishments that felt like they could have broken me but didn't, like my master's in neuroscience that I found really tough, and another postgraduate degree I did while working full-time. I have some personal things in the jar, like travelling around Asia during maternity leave with an 8-month-old, which was really scary and challenging at times, but so rewarding. And I have some work-related cookies based on some of my previous corporate jobs and getting through the steep learning curve when I first started making videos too. Think of the cookies in your jar whenever you need to get through a challenging situation. You'll notice a significant increase in strength to be able to get through anything, and you give yourself the chance to tap into so much more happiness. The next spread is related to the idea that moments are fleeting, so we need to appreciate them before they pass us by. Stoic philosopher Epictetus said that whenever he kissed his wife or children goodnight, he would always remind himself that there's always a chance that they could possibly not be here tomorrow, because life is fleeting and anything can happen. It may sound a bit morbid, but it's so important to remember that anything can disappear overnight. You can lose people, luxuries, comfort. Thinking about the impermanence of life encourages gratitude and appreciation for all things big or small. Writing a list of everything you're grateful for helps you truly appreciate them throughout daily life and encourages tranquility. Practicing gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to be a happier person. It's often said that if you can't be happy with the small things, you'll struggle to be happy at all. For this list, just think about all of the things that you can possibly be grateful for, big or small. The next list is about pleasure versus happiness. There are so many things that give us pleasure, and we may get told that money and pleasure are bad because they don't give you happiness, or in other cases people are led to believe that more money or eating at the trendiest restaurants will make them happy. Stoic philosopher Seneca says that we can enjoy the pleasures that come to us with good fortune, as long as we view them with suspicion and a willingness to part with them if needed, so the absence of them can't break us. So I've always found it helpful to know the difference between things that really make my heart happy versus the things that give me pleasure. True happiness is the core, and usually simple things. Think about the things that make your heart feel happy. It could be emotional bonds with people in your life, adventure, exploration, kindness. Outside of that are the things that give you pleasure that you can freely enjoy, but in the knowledge that this stuff can only make you happy for the moment and only at that moment. Buying a new item for your wardrobe, for example, will make you feel really happy when you purchase it and probably when you wear it. But it won't always be able to do that for you. Longer-term happiness comes from within. Knowing this difference means you won't rely on things that only provide temporary happiness, you'll just enjoy them at the time, and you'll appreciate the simpler things that give you true happiness, which has the power to make you a much happier person overall. I hope you enjoyed learning about Stoicism and that some of these lists can help you think about what makes you happy. Let me know what you think of these ideas in the comments down below. I also share a lot of these thoughts and ideas in my weekly newsletter, which you can sign up to over on my blog. I've provided a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.